You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 on Instagram and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we welcome in our friend Christine Hahn, managing attorney at Hahn Law Group, focusing on family law, immigration, and criminal law in Colorado. Welcome back, Attorney Hahn.
Hi, Benny. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to see you. So first, we want to give a shout out to our friends at Lex Reception who keep doing their thing. Less admin, more time for you. Switch off knowing your calls are covered by Lex. From answering calls and messages in real time to appointment scheduling, your clients are going to receive the care and support they need with Lex Reception. Their legal answering specialists are on hand 24/7, so you'll never miss a call or a future case. With custom scripting and software that can seamlessly integrate with your current workflow, Lex is going to make sure every one of your clients or potential clients get a fantastic service with every first call. If you mention Lawyer Stories, we also have a discount, $250 off your first month. So thank you, Lex, for being a good business partner and a good sponsor of the episode. So Christine, back to you.
Hi.
So it's great to see you. Like, it's a pleasure to have you on and to catch up. I look back through the archives, the Lawyer Stories archives, and you first submitted your lawyer story on March 2020, March 30th, 2020. That was like almost 4 years ago. And so like that kind of makes us like friends, like it's you were one of the first, which is amazing. And you also appeared on episode 27 and 83 of the podcast. So you're helping so many clients. Obviously, you're doing very well. Congrats on all your success.
Thank you, Benny. I appreciate that. And I'm so excited. This is our third time. I feel like a lot has changed, but I feel the same too. We're like kind of like besties, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So thank you for all your support with Lawyer Stories along the way. I know we've discussed your story. I really want to talk about what you're up to now, but just as like a general background, you're first generation Korean American who fell in love with Lady Liberty at age 6. And I love Lady Liberty. I know we talked about this last episode. That's like one of my favorite things is the Statue of Liberty. Just tell us briefly about like falling in love with Lady Liberty.
Yeah. So my parents immigrated from South Korea, and my dad, growing up, I was super close with my dad. It was actually his dream to become an attorney, and I like did it for him, I guess. And so he's always been proud. And once he came to America, like he's been that person. Like anybody can make it here. Big dreams, big goals, work hard. He believed in the American dream. And when I was a little girl, he took me to the Statue of Liberty, in New York. So that was it's still very memorable. Like I remember precisely how I felt, and he would explain to me, the historical background of it. But that's where it all started, my hopes and dreams and goals of being an attorney.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I said, Statue of Liberty is, I don't know what it is about it. I mean, when I was in law school, at my apartment I had this said 1954 Liberty View, and it was a picture of the Statue of Liberty, black and white. I love Lady Liberty as well. So one thing I thought about, I don't know if we've discussed it, I wanted to ask you, like, did you ever have a mentor, like whether it be in college or law school, and like what is your feeling on having a mentor?
I did not have a mentor. I wish I had a mentor. I think things are just different, or nowadays, I'm actually a mentor to a lot of young attorneys
Awesome.
and entrepreneurs, a lot of minorities and female attorneys. Um, But no, when I first started off, and I think we talked about this, Benny, like I started my law firm immediately, like a week after I passed the bar.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I needed a lot of help. I really reached out to a lot of different people and programs, and a lot of attorneys just were not available for me. And I wish I had an attorney, but at the same time, I learned so much along the way. This year would be a decade for me, 10 years of doing it. So
Wow.
yeah, and I've learned a
Congrats. That's
lot.
awesome.
Thank you so much. And along the way, I've, met great colleagues, great friends, and my circle of friends, we're all entrepreneurs, not just attorneys. So we help each other and support each other and things like that.
Wicked cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't have the luxury of having a mentor. I didn't have one. I talk about it openly, and if you fall into that position, it can help you so much. But of course, like if you don't, like you starting a law from a week out of their passing the bar, like you learn a lot yourself, and you go through, and here you are on the Lawyer Stories podcast. So your website, I was just taking a look at it, has the Han Law Group promise, and let me read that to you. Number one, there's three promises, right? No surprises, no secrets, and no surrender. What does that mean? So what does like no surprises mean?
Yeah, so I'm really big on communication with my clients. Every single one of my clients are satisfied with our representation, and it's not just because we go above and beyond, but we're really big on communication. All of them have my cell phone number. They have access to me, of course, for emergency purposes, and they try to not, contact me outside of business hours and things like that. But transparency and communication is everything. And I think from the first meeting that we have, consultations, and then case strategy meetings, you have to keep your clients in the loop. And I know, the number one problem a lot of attorneys have, because we have so much to do and we have a lot of attention to details that we have to cater to, are not really the best communicators to our clients. Even if it's a quick check-in, it's very important to me and my clients. So that is one of our promises.
Yeah, I mean it's so important. So the second one is no secrets. So what would that mean? Like just full disclosure?
Yeah, so again, full disclosure, we're talking about cases, right? I see that I would say 1/3 of my cases, my clients come from big law firms. They jump from maybe one or two attorneys, and then they're not getting the right results. And then they come to us and we solve their legal issue, right? And so again, full disclosure, as in sometimes I tell my clients, like, you're not going to want to hear this, but it needs to come from me. You
Right.
don't these evidence don't really work for you, but we can work on it this way, right? We have to approach it together, using our problem solving skills, right? So again, transparency quickly, throughout the case as it progresses. A lot of those are very important, and it is one of our promises.
Yeah, and of course the last one, I love this. It all fits together. No surrender.
Yes. And that's probably, they're all important, but I would say this would probably be the most important promise for me as an attorney and as an advocate, like just not giving up. No case is too complicated for us, or no client is too difficult for us. Like, we really can manage all of these cases. We can talk about this a little later, but my client satisfaction rate is extremely high. We have
Amazing.
all 5-star Google reviews, more than 200. I have 100% success rate with all of my cases, I can proudly say. So yeah, it's no
Wow,
give.
that's amazing.
Thank you. And a lot of that is, being a good attorney, thinking outside of the box, being creative, right? And just having a solid team, having a good group of experts, and having clear communication with your clients so they understand we really need this to beat this case, right? So when I say no surrender, I'm very creative as to how I approach the cases as an advocate. And of course, we never give up. So.
It's amazing. So, when you're doing in Colorado, you're doing, and you'll take other cases. I mean, if you have to go pro hoc vice, if somebody reaches out to you, say, "Hey, Christine, I have a case. Like, can you help me in Florida?" Whatever it might be. So, family law, immigration law, and criminal law, I think those sort of all tie in together. And so, like, what qualities would you say make that you have that make you, a success in
Mhm.
your field?
Yes. Thank you for the question. It goes back to why I chose those three areas when I first started. So, immigration has always been my baby. I come from a family of immigrants. I'm a
Okay.
proud second or first generation Korean American. I'm bilingual. I'm very cultured in that regard. So I help the immigrant community. It's always been my thing, even before law school, right? So I can relate to them. I'm very passionate about that. So that was that. And then I realized a lot of these immigrant clienteles have a lot of other issues, including family, child custody divorce cases, and criminal cases. So if they're arrested. So all of these affect each other. So if you have a criminal conviction or a pending case, that is going to affect your immigration status unless you're a US citizen.
That's right.
Became an expert at all of these three areas of law because I wanted to help this specific community in the beginning. And yes, I do take pro hoc vice cases
Mhm.
out of state. Immigration is federal law, so I represent a lot of clients outside of Colorado. I would say about 50% of my clients are outside of Colorado and outside of the United States. So but it's all related to each other because the areas of law affect each other. And I wanted to become an expert in all of those three areas.
That's amazing. So you picked three rather than being like a general person, a general lawyer. You picked three. They're sort of interwoven, a lot of the issues that happen, like you're discussing, and you became an expert in all of them. So great job. That's really cool. So tell me, Christine. So you submitted your story like 4 years ago, right? So like we've known each other or we've been in contact for 4 years. So um, how has your business grown or evolved? I'm a believer that things evolve over time. Like it might start a certain way, but it just kind of goes a different way, or it like goes the way you plan. Like, how has it evolved? How has your business evolved?
My business has evolved tremendously. And again, this year is 10 years for me. Believe it or not, time flies, but time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
When I first started, I came straight out of law school. And I started, a week after I passed the bar. It was the scariest experience ever. I was still a baby lawyer. I was trying to, and we don't learn much in law school, right? It's all about experience afterwards. So it was a very scary situation. And I started everything. I didn't take a single business course, and navigating a law firm, that's a whole different thing. And, being an attorney in and of itself was hard, but learning how to navigate and being a business owner and run a law firm and build with my team, that was really the hardest thing ever for me.
okay,
Um, but over the years, I've gone through a lot of different employees and, paralegals, different contract attorneys, office managers, et cetera. And I really focused on having the right team, and I finally do. And we're trying
great,
to grow, and that is where my focus is at right now. I have a full-time associate attorney. I have
congrats.
Thank you. A full-time staff, paralegals, office manager, legal assistant. So I've really worked hard to build a solid team. Now, you have to weather the storm when you are a business owner. So when COVID hit, that was a whole different situation for me too, about
Right.
get clients or marketing or how to practice law in that type of setting, because I was so used to a certain way of running my business. So it's constantly, being an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and law firm owner is no exception. It's constantly reinventing yourself and figuring it out as it evolves.
Like that. I like that. I think evolves is like a huge thing. I mean, I've dealt with that as a lawyer, being with lawyer stories and just evolving over time. So that's great. And I want to extend to you, like you have a new associate, so congratulations. And if you'd like to have that person featured on our feed, we'd be more than happy to do it if she wants to submit her story via email and photo. We'd love to have her featured. So, um, so you're one of the top 40 under 40 trial lawyers, a National Women Top 25 trial lawyer. Like, what does it mean to receive those type of accolades?
It means a lot because it's top 40 under 40 and top litigator. Aside from immigration, I am in court a lot. So
Mhm.
now I have my associate attorney and we do things differently. But for family law and criminal defense, I am a natural in court. I am very comfortable in court, and I am a litigator at the end of the day. And I work very hard to perfect my craft. And a
Right.
lot of awards and recognitions come from judges and other attorneys, opposing counsels, district attorneys, and city attorneys. So it does mean a lot. And I've been fortunate and blessed to receive it every year consecutively. So
That's
it's
awesome.
thank you. It's my pride and joy.
And look, when you join Lawyer Stories Connect, you're
Mhm.
going to get a plaque from us too. So we'll tell you all about that. So anyway, so Christine, tell us where your clients are located and like how do they typically find you and what's your success rate? I know you're crushing it out there, but just remind us.
Yeah. My clients come from so either referrals, I have a lot of referrals. So my previous clients really do all the marketing for me. So if I got a family a green card in Ecuador, they're gonna send their, cousins in, Peru and
Awesome.
Venezuela and Mexico and etc. Same applies for family, for example, family law. If I did someone's divorce or custody situation, they're going to send their whole, friends and colleagues and etc. I'm really big on social media as well. I have a lot of great followers who
Mhm.
turn into clients or who refer me. But yeah, and then of course, it just depends on the area of law. But like I said, I'm not limited to just Colorado. So 50% of my clients are out of state and outside the country.
Wow, that's great. So
Oh, and to answer your question, my success rate is 100%. Yes.
100%, let's go. That's awesome. Tell us about like social media, like by the way, like does it really help? I mean, I feel like there's over millions of lawyers out there, maybe a percentage of them are on social media. How does it really help?
Social media definitely helps if you know how to do it right.
Okay.
Right. So, and I don't think a lot of attorneys know how to do it right. Now, of course, there's millennial attorneys. I myself, I'm a millennial, but there's also Gen Z. And it's becoming a norm. It's not, everybody needs to have social media nowadays, right? But I think there's a difference when you own the firm, like I'm an entrepreneur. It's my firm, right? Versus, being an associate attorney and belonging to a bigger firm, I don't think I would take it that seriously to advertise my services and what I can do for clients. Social media is great and I love it. I can really connect with my clients and my audience. Uh, and it does work very well for me, but it has to be balanced, and this year actually, I'm I've done a good job, I think, balancing it out, but I'm showing more of my personal life. I
Okay.
to do that because that's what my audience and my clients want, and
Okay.
it's a way to connect with people, and it's all about sharing knowledge, of course, and
Wait, so let
help.
me ask you that. How does that work since you're sharing more of like your personal life?
What do you mean how? So
I'm
it's
sorry,
like,
like no, how has it worked for you? Like, do you feel
oh
like
yeah,
people have connected more with you? Like, since you've been like,
absolutely,
hey, like I'm traveling here, I'm doing
yes,
this, like
absolutely.
this is my nightlife, like this is, but I can still, I'm playing hard, but I work harder, that sort of thing. Like, does that
Yeah,
help you a lot?
yes, and I thought that I was showing a lot previously, but I was, inspired by a lot of my other friends, entrepreneurs and attorneys who turn into like legal influencers on
Yeah,
social, and they're really killing the game. And I've
yeah.
had meaningful conversations with them. And, I thought I was showing a lot, but I realized I could do a lot more, and at the end of the day, it is connecting with my audience. It's being relatable, right? So I can relate to them, they can relate to me. Even like my stories, if I talk about law, if I'm in the courtroom, I mean, people are still intrigued, but versus me like, hanging out somewhere, dining at a five-star restaurant or shopping with my girlfriends, like those views go crazy. Like people want to see what I'm doing and
Well,
what I'm up.
people want to see like their lawyer being successful too, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And how
Yeah.
I live my life. And for me, work-life balance is like a key to my success. And I take it very seriously, self-care, taking care of my mind, my body, like everything, my health. So I show a lot of that, like workouts, eating healthy.
Yeah.
It's just who I am every day. And it does affect, it's the key to why mentally I'm able to do what I do. And I am successful in being an attorney and being an entrepreneur. So yes, it's done wonders for me. I love it. But you have to know how to do it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice when you can integrate both and have people respect you and still want you to be a professional representing them. Um,
Yes. Yes. Because a lot
so
of times I'll
go
see
ahead.
like if you don't know how to do it, a lot of times I'll see um some attorneys or professionals who overdo it, maybe overshare, because it's kind of like, what you got to think, like, what is the point of me sharing this? Am I trying to
Right.
show my real self and relatable? I'm always trying to inspire because that's what I do.
Yep.
It's just who I am, and it that again relates to how I practice law and how I represent clients and how I run my business. Everything is affected by each other. So I'm very careful about my day-to-day decisions, and I'm very mindful of those things. But so I won't just like post something random, you know. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah. Yeah.
have to like think things through. But yeah, if you do it right, social media is everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's just a good way to go, not just post like, some random thing like I did today of like, having like a Dunkin' coffee. But that was just because, I was just there.
Right,
But yeah,
coffee is like a lawyer thing.
it
I don't
is
know.
a lawyer thing. It is. It's funny because if I have a Dunkin' one day, like I'll shout out somebody in the store, like a certain person or people in the stories, and then if it's Starbucks, because like I feel like just grabbing a little something a little stronger, I'll shout out a different like the West Coast crew and lawyers story. So it's interesting. Everything I feel like there's a lot of thoughtful things now that go into social media. It's not just hey,
Absolutely.
like look at this dinner of like turkey and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that it's become a refined sort of thing that people are doing. So great job with that. Christine, I have a question. So what's it like being a lawyer and also a mediator? Like, is it
Yeah.
helpful to be both?
Yes, it absolutely is. And it's one of the reasons why I have a lot of these attributes, and one of the reasons why I am successful. And my success rate is 100%, because as an attorney, as a litigator, as an advocate, we're trained a certain way, right? We think logically, we advocate for our clients, right? We problem solve, and you're representing one person. So it can be a very adversarial setting, and as a
Yep.
litigator. Now, because I am a certified mediator for family law purposes, so that allows me to step outside from my lawyer role. And now I'm a neutral, unbiased third party. So I know how to negotiate. I know how to hear different parties' concerns, and I help them resolve their cases right in the middle, and they could walk away happy, right? So I think it really helps me being a better attorney, and I negotiate well. I settle most of my cases unless it's really worth going to trial, and I'll let my clients know. And being an attorney also helps me being a great certified mediator, because I can tell them, like, look, if I was representing you as an attorney, or if I was the opposite side's attorney, most likely they will bring this up. This is the law that they're using, right? So it's a very different role, but it helps me on both ends.
So does it feel so much different than when you just started out? Like now, like do you feel so much more comfortable like being a lawyer and like taking cases and like like because you've we talk about evolution together and like just being more comfortable and like more knowledgeable and having taken cases even though all the facts are different, but do you feel so much more like I don't know what the word is, like just good, I guess, at what you're doing, like confident. Okay, that'll work. Confident in what you're doing.
Absolutely. I think, no, I mean, we learn so much during how we practice, right? There's just years of experience. There's nothing like years of experience, right? I'm at the point where any case can come, and no, I'm not really stressed out about cases. I never get like that. It's a case, I solve it, and clients are happy. That's my goal. And because I've covered so many cases and all types of different cases in three very different areas of law for 10 years, like, I'm very confident in any kind of case that comes through the door. And I actually love it. I mean, we are lawyers for a reason, right? And I'm not that type of person where I dread going to work or dread going to court, going to trial. I love it. Like, I am a litigator, and it
It's awesome.
definitely helps that I know what I'm doing, but it's taken a lot of work and a lot of time and years of lessons, right? And especially, we talked about this, with no mentor. Like, I had to figure it out by myself, but I think that it was crucial,
Yep.
and my confidence is where it's at today because of that.
Yeah. So what's it been like upscaling your law firm and business, and like what are you doing now at your firm? Like what role are you playing?
Yeah, so now that I have a full-time staff, mainly my full-time associate attorney, which I'm so happy that I have him. It's a him, by the way,
Oh,
not
I'm sorry. Him. 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 Okay.
That's okay to him. And you know, I was very picky about this because this is my firm and I've
Yeah.
had many opportunities to hire several attorneys along the way, but it just wasn't great fit for myself or my brand, my team. You know, so but timing wise, it's perfect and I'm very happy with my decision. It's working very well right now. It helps me truly be in the CEO role and
Hmm.
really run my law firm. And that's something that I wanted to do so badly, but I was the only attorney, right? So I was doing everything, the day to day, the consultations, the case strategy meetings, the discovery, the motions, everything, right? So it was a lot for me because I have to divide my time.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
are an entrepreneur, you know, you got to do billing, you got to do the customer service, the marketing, the budgeting,
Of
you have to
course.
run numbers. And all of that is a full-time job, but being a lawyer is a full-time job and then some, the brain power, right?
Yeah.
That goes behind it. So now that frees up a little bit of more of my time to focus on the branding, the business,
Hmm.
entrepreneurial aspect of it, which really is what I'm good at and I want to be, and expanding my business more. So yeah, I'm in a good place right now.
That's awesome. And by the way, it would be our pleasure to, and I know I said this, even though it's a him, like, and I know that I shouldn't even say that in the podcast, but because I don't want to assume anybody's gender, but we'd love to feature him on our on Lawyer Stories. So
Yes, thank you, Benny.
yeah,
Thank
of course, of course. All right, I'm just going back because I said her. Okay, anyway, so
you.
what's one piece of advice that Christine can give young lawyers and entrepreneurs?
Think don't be afraid to be different. It's 2024.
Like it.
Yes. Don't be afraid to try new things. And it's never too late to switch different ways of how you practice law. You could be in-house counsel, you could work for the DA's office, and then you can go to private practice, or you can, we live, I always think it's important to be flexible, right? But I think just being yourself is key, and it's very hard to be an attorney. And you know, if you the typical big law stereotype is that it's toxic, right? And it's unhealthy. And I do know a lot of attorneys who just hate their jobs, and it
Wow.
just shouldn't be the case, right? So try to figure out what makes you happy because you don't want to be burnt out. And a lot of attorneys are. Year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, you name it. A lot of attorneys are so unhappy and so burnt out. And that's just not the way to practice law or do any type of career. So understand it's not a sprint, it is a marathon. It's a very rewarding profession. So make it work for you. And I think thinking outside of the box, being creative and being yourself, being different is a good thing. And I think that would be my advice. Don't be afraid to do those things.
I love it. So, what's it like representing famous people?
Famous people like celebrities.
What's it like representing celebrities?
Okay. Um, I get this question a lot. It's no different than representing non-celebrities.
Hmm.
I do think, because I take my job very seriously, they are going to, celebrity or not, they're going to get the best representation from me because I take my job
Good.
seriously. But with with being famous or celebrities, you know, if I have athlete clients, other celebrities in the music industry and whatnot, privacy tends to be a very big issue. And I'm very mindful of that. And even if someone wasn't a celebrity, if that is what they want, if they're a well-known person, if they're a public figure, so we definitely try to navigate that in a way that works for them.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's good. And you know, the perks of it is you just getting invited to like different places, I guess. And
Awesome.
yeah,
I
but
was
it's the same
available. I
way.
mean, I'd come
Yeah,
through.
right.
I'll come through. Just let me know.
They're happy with their representation, like they're
Yeah.
going to send you clients, referrals. But it all boils down to knowing your clientele, right? So I know because I do have well-known clients and celebrity clients, like I know what's important to them. So if communicating a certain way is important to them, then I will do that, right? If this makes them feel like I'm preserving more of their privacy, I will do that, right? Again, it's about being flexible. I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to say, but this applies to even like my non-celebrity clients,
Mhm.
if they have an XYZ type of business, and I talk to them and I take it very seriously. What works for you? Right. And I'll customize the way I communicate with them or how often I.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like that you'll customize the way that you'll communicate with them or how you'll go about it. That's very that sounds very important to me.
Yes, at my law firm, everything is customized, by the way.
Good.
So
Like it.
talk about our promises, the three promises, delivering all of that, transparency, communication, even my consultations is very customized. So every client is treated differently because their case is different, right? We don't treat them as a case number. I actually know all of them. They know my name. I know their name, their family members. They know how my cell phone number. They have direct access to me, not just my high profile clients.
Mhm.
Everyone gets a customized experience as our clients.
I like it. So what's next for your firm?
What's next? We just want to get better and get bigger and evolve, right? Hopefully get another office soon or two. The team is growing. I would love to have several other more associate attorneys, senior paralegals, litigating manager, all that stuff, and just grow. And hopefully, I have like a plan. I always have like business plans, and I do accomplish them all the time. But like, I'm again finally in a place where I could just really play the CEO role of the law firm, and I'm very, very happy that I could do that. So.
That's awesome. What about some advice for people thinking about launching their own firm?
Advice for people thinking about launching their own firm: have a concise business plan. And that goes for any business plan, right? Know your clientele, right? Not everyone is a fit clientele for you, right? So how are you marketing to get your ideal clients? Um, you need to have a budget, obviously. You need to have a solid game plan. Like, all law firms are different, all businesses are different. I run mines very non-traditionally, and I did that since day one. I wanted it to be a very fun, relaxed working environment.
Nice.
Yeah, even before COVID, like working at home, like just flexibility is everything. I don't like the toxic culture of big firms, but just having a clear vision of how you want the business to run smoothly. And then regular check-ins, right? We have check-ins all the time, even myself. Like, how can we get better? How can we accomplish our tasks and projects more efficiently, right? And how can we help each other? Or how can we do this more independently? You're constantly growing and thinking about these things and putting it into action, not just being stagnant about it. And it's hard to do that when you are a solo practitioner and you're starting by yourself. You don't have a team. I didn't have a receptionist. I didn't have a paralegal. It was a one-man show. I did everything.
Wow. Yeah, it's difficult.
Right. And I added on I hired my first receptionist within the first month. She was part-time when I had my firm, but like, I
Yep.
had a clear goal. I said, the first person I'm going to hire, it needs to be a receptionist. When I get X amount of clients, I'm going to put away X amount of dollars, and
Yep.
that's gonna cover this receptionist. I need a
Yep.
receptionist. Everything else, and I prioritize, right, of what's going to be a necessity for my business, or what's not really a necessity for my business, right?
Okay.
So having a solid business plan, but also be flexible. If your goal is to reach here, it doesn't matter how you get there. It's just about getting there. And don't beat yourself up. And another thing is, I would say, I'm very fortunate. My circle is very small, but I have a solid group of friends that support me, and they're all
Great.
entrepreneurs, not just doctors, lawyers, but all kinds of other industries. And as a business owner, it really helps when you put yourself in that environment, because you see how other people run their businesses and you bounce on each other's ideas,
Yep.
right? So you want to definitely have that type of circle, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Running a business, like anything, and including a law firm, right? You need to network with the right network, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, and you just need to do that. You can't do it by yourself. Everything you can't.
Right.
And that if you have, just understand your strengths and weaknesses,
Yes.
and focus on that.
Yes, I like it. Um, and for you, I mean, young attorney, 10 years in, the sky's the limit. So, we look forward to having you on again and talking about how far you've come from this point. So,
Thank you. That would be so exciting.
is
And
there,
I'll talk to my associate and see if we can make that happen. I would love for him to be on Lawyer
yeah,
Stories.
or just say, if you want to start with a feature or whatnot in the
Right, right. We could do
Yeah.
that too.
So, is there anything else that we missed out today that you'd like to touch on, Christine?
No, I think we covered everything. I'm
Good.
super, thank you so much again for having me
Yeah.
on. I love Lawyer Stories. I love what you're doing.
Oh, nice.
I think it takes a lot as practicing attorneys to do something like this, to bring the community together. And I
Yeah.
know that's a passion of yours and you do it great.
Thank you.
So yeah, kudos to you. You have
Thank you.
my support.
Thank you. I know I do. And I hope to see you at an event soon.
Yes, I'm trying to make that happen.
I know. We'll stay right there, okay? Just for a moment. And everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world today, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.